For a long time, it's been pretty obvious that the Bushies have a real hankering to attack Iran. Many people think that this will be a disaster. Let's just take a quick look at some of the circumstances. One of the main points is that the United States has 2 aircraft carrier task forces located in the Gulf of Hormuz. Now, the conventional thinking would be that these 2 task forces are a very efficient way to intimidate Iran into behaving itself. A less conventional view of this situation starts from considering the fact that Iran has hundreds or thousands of missiles with ranges up to several thousand kilometers. Many of these missiles are entirely capable of hitting the ships that we have in the Gulf of Hormuz. They are also capable of hitting ships that are trying to pass through the very narrow passage of the Strait of Hormuz. And indeed, during the Iraq-Iran war, Iran did sink ships in the strait that bottled up oil traffic for some period of time. So let's take a look at the scenario that could happen. Now, we might want to remember that a year or more ago, Iran said that they too had the right of engaging in preemptive warfare if they felt threatened by us. So at any point in time, from here on out, they could decide to launch against us. The other scenario is that at some point in time they're going to wake up and their radar is going to tell them that large numbers of U.S. aircraft have crossed their borders and are on their way to bomb targets in Iran. Now, I think there are some people in the administration who maybe think that Iran will just sit there and take it. I think that's a very naive assumption. They don't have to take it, and they have already sucked us into this major war. So what is the scenario? The scenario is that if they see our aircraft coming, they will launch swarms of missiles against our ships. And these swarms at some point will include the almost impossible to stop sunburn and mosquito missiles. The upshot is likely to be that a large number of the ships in the Gulf of Hormuz will be destroyed in one of the most disastrous incidents in American military history. They will then go on to destroy the oil shipping terminals, which they have already tried to attack several times in the past. Another consequence of this would be that we would no longer be able to ship supplies through the Gulf of Hormuz, and basically our troops would starve and run out of ammunition. At the same time, it's entirely likely that large numbers of Iranian troops would then come over the border and wage a very effective attack on our forces. The upshot of this would be a very deep economic depression in this country caused by losing a significant portion of our oil supply. You know, many of us might end up starving to death in such a situation. So that being the risk, one can only hope that the saner people in Washington will find some way to keep this from happening, because it would certainly be a very bad thing if it did happen. You know, at this point in time, the White House has pretty much lost contact with day-to-day reality. They've turned off their fax machine. They don't go out in public very much, and they pretty much think whatever they want. And this makes them more dangerous, and it makes Bush a man who might feel that he has nothing to lose. Like leaders in the past, he might think that since he's going down, the rest of us should go down with him. And so when Congress comes back next week, I would strongly encourage you to get on the phone every day and start talking to your representative and tell them that you don't want this to happen.